Well, it's 50 years gone, Rosemount, Mulvey. It's had to bring it back into the spirit to the community. Plus there's all new houses gone up there which my grandkids live in. It's brilliant for everybody, near and far. So everybody's welcome.
We moved to the area about a year ago and we weren't mixing, and then during the summer Aggie started doing the football club or the summer clubs, summer camps, and she tried, loved it, start mixing with all the kids, and it was a great way to get into the community.
It's been a tough battle for the club, with the council, with players, with everything starting off with no money and trying to build it up over the last 3 years as we have. First year we did brilliant on the pitch, second year brilliant on the pitch, and now pushing on, but we still have the fights and battles ahead of us. We started off with one club and we had no facilities whatsoever. We had one slot on a Tuesday, nothing else. We were trained down here in the muck, in the dark, with nothing at all, and we've had 3 or 4 meetings with the council and so far nothing's changed. Oh no, we hear certain things. We'll come back to you in a week's time. We'll give you the bookings of the slots in Benildes and Marley. Nothing happens. We go back again for another meeting, still nothing happens, and just broken promises. We went up on numerous nights whatever to check, and pitches were available, empty, and then also we heard also that different fees are being charged to different clubs, and that's part of a massive issue. I think you can see the way it's been treated over the last 3 years. Nothing's been honoured, nothing's been agreed. They haven't stood for anything what they promised us as well, going over the 3 years, and I see no difference at all. Going to even our junior teams, no difference at all. The pitch gets damaged and nothing happened after that. So who wants their child going to the bathroom behind a bush or behind a unit? They should have facilities, that's just normal.
And the toilet's locked up.
Correct.
10 yards away.
Locked up and no access. But hopefully people do honour what they said in the past. We're only getting stronger.
Yeah, and this will the fight continues.
It will indeed.
Thank you very much.
No problem, thank you.
I'm just there with Dennis Cruz, FAI Secretary of the competition of the FAI Junior Cup. Dennis, you're down here obviously for the big game between Rosemount and Crumlin. What have you made of the setup? And big atmosphere today. How are you feeling?
Well, last week I came out just to have a look at the pitch and met some of the committee, and as you can see, it's just an open green space. But in fairness, I've been here since about 9:45 this morning, and they've put in every effort to get the pitch enclosed, which they have. In fairness, they've marked the pitch, and I'm just amazed how many people were down here at 10 o'clock this morning for the game.
Absolutely, and obviously looking around, we've done a lot of work obviously on the clubhouse and stuff like that to make sure everything's looking very well. Obviously the club's coming in now to its 50th year anniversary. From where the club is now to where it was 2 years ago is amazing to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great to see a club. I mean, it's a community-based club. I mean, they provide a lot of football for schoolboys, and now they have junior clubs, junior players playing for them, which seems to attract a lot of good players from the area to come here. It'd be great if the council came on board and get them, proper facilities, new dressing rooms, new showers, and probably a clubhouse that people from around can be proud of, and also the council can see this as a bit of a gem in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you just touched on the community there, but obviously today would be a huge day for the community, and we're expecting a huge crowd. From your own point of view, is there many of you coming down to get involved in this?
Yeah, I know there's people from the Leinster Senior League, where both clubs are affiliated to, and also from the junior councils, a few people coming down. But it'd be nice to see some politicians come around the area and just see what can happen when you get the community behind you, and get behind them and give them the support. I mean, as you say, there's a lot of good people working behind the club. They're going to celebrate their 50th anniversary, and hopefully everybody from all around all these states can come aboard and help the club to the success it deserves.
And just lastly, Dennis, what do you feel about Rosemount Mulvey as a club itself?
As I said before, they're a community-based club. They provide football for people of all abilities, colour and creed. So, I mean, they're one of these clubs that you sort of come into this area and see and listen to what they provide for youngsters, junior players, people with problems in the area. It is a focus point for, I think, every sort of person in the area, whether they come out and play or whether they come out and support the club. I think they need the backing of everybody in the community, that they do provide a service, and it should be recognised and supported by everybody.
As an independent councillor for Dundrum, Rosemount is the heartbeat of the community down here in Dundrum. I've been involved with the club myself for the last 18 months or so. I've been part of seeing it grow, see it progress with the limited resources that's been available to the club, and it's great to see the amount of kids, particularly the girls, getting involved here in the club. It's no longer just a senior team down the corner of a good amenity down here in Rosemount in the Dundrum community, but instead it's now a grown club with a number of boys teams, a number of girls teams, 2 academies, and it's absolutely thriving. It's the talk of the community down here, and it's great to see, and it's great to be part of it, and fair play to everyone who's been involved with it.
Hello, Richie Baker here from Rosemount Mulvey Football Club. I'm currently Director of Football down at the club. I've been at the club now 2.5 years. First came down to the club to look after a senior team that had come back to the Rosemount area. We were very successful in our first year, and we done the treble, which was fantastic, and then went on in the second year to do the double, which has been a fantastic 2 years at the club. The club has grown now, and we've got the junior section all set up over the last 12 to 13 months, which is fantastic to get them back in the club in the area.
We're heading into 2020 now, and all I can say is this club grown. You know, there's lots of big clubs in the area, in the wider area of Dunleary Down. They've been allowed to grow, given that they have the decent enough facilities, they have the space. This is a club that's really grown from little or nothing. And it's fantastic that the club has grown with that little resources. When I started out with this club, I wasn't a public representative. I am now. Very little has changed in 18 months. I felt as a public representative that I would be able to go on to Dunleary Down County Council and hopefully push for the better facilities, not just for the club but for the community here in Rosemount. For me, it's not too productive at the moment, but we're going into 2020, and I think it's vital that not just me, there's 6 other ward councillors here in Dundrum, get behind the club, engage with the council, and get the council to engage with this club as much as possible, because I think we've seen too many false promises here for Rosemount Mulvey Football Club. It's a shame really, because you know, the DLR, we have a sports strategy, we have a place to play strategy, and there's contradictions in here in Rosemount, and I like to see them contradictions turned around and turned into a positive, because it doesn't have to be always negative. For the amount of good work that volunteers do here in the club, the amount of time that a small number of people give, like it is in all clubs across Dunleary Down, you know, we deserve better. This club deserves better. Within this, what's known really is the clubhouse. If you look even behind me here, you'll see the state that it's in, the state of repair. At the time we'd argued that case, we wanted to see an upgrade of what we have here. We wanted it to build a sustainable football club for the boys, the girls, the men, the women, everyone in here in the community in Rosemount and everyone who's attached to us. We ended up going for a separate application, and we put in for a gym, which would be much needed, not just for the football club but for the local community and mental health and well-being of the local people in the area. A gym that would be accessible to all. Thankfully we were successful in that application, but it's a pity now that we're a number of months, we're half a year on from when we've received the funding. The first step forward was actually getting the allocation of the money, and the second step hasn't happened. Hopefully this is something that we can move forward with in the new year. Again, I'm only hopeful.
We've been in contact with the council over the number of years. Myself, in the last 16 to 18 months, I've been in meetings with the high people in the council that look after the pitches, and to date we have nothing has changed for our junior section or our senior section. We don't have any access to AstroTurf. It's block booked by all the other clubs that are around us. All we're looking for is the same opportunities for our children to progress in football, and we can't give that at the moment. But we're doing our best, and the coaches that are down there and the committee that are down there are doing their best, and we're fighting for them every week. We have our academy going every Saturday morning still from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. This again is only getting bigger every week, and we're currently getting 50 kids every Saturday morning between the ages of 4 and 9.
Obviously it's frustrating for everyone involved and everyone who's trying to support the club when things haven't changed. The only thing that has changed is that the good work of the volunteers has actually put a lick of paint on it to make it just look better, to make it look a little bit more respectful, not just for ourselves but for the amount of clubs and teams that come and visit us. But this what we're standing in right now has to go, and I'll be calling on the council to work with the club going forward. It's not going to happen overnight, but certainly there needs to be a long-term plan here for Rosemount, because progress that the club has had in a short period of time, it's unstoppable, you know, and that's down to the good volunteers of the club, to the parents, to everyone who's involved here. And if you speak to anyone in the local area, they'll tell you exactly what Rosemount Mulvey Football Club is all about.
Obviously, what we're looking for at the club is that these children that are around Rosemount get the same equal shot at becoming the best players they can and getting the best coaching that they can and having the best facilities like any other club. All we're looking for is the same. We're not looking for any more, but we don't seem to be able to have that down at the club, which is very disappointing. Obviously, we're just looking for something new down in Rosemount, new facilities, new dressing rooms. We've also have to have an indoor hall booked out in Delasall Hall in the college. We booked that on a Tuesday and a Thursday night, but this is with 40 or 50 girls between 6 and 7 p.m. and then another 40 or 60 boys between 7 and 8, and the hall is way too small to have that many people in it. As I said, that's all we can do for now, and we're doing our best. We do the best we can for them, but it's obviously hindering the progression in the football because we can't do the drills that we want with them. So we're looking for the council really to help us out and provide us with these AstroTurf facilities and maybe facilities down at the ground just to help us out and put new ones in there for the future of the children and give them the same opportunities as all the other children and the other clubs around us. Again, only a couple of weeks ago we had to hold a big game for the senior team. Buncrana came down, we played them in the FAI Junior Cup. Again, we tried to look for an AstroTurf around us to play the game, and we couldn't find one because they were all booked out by other clubs, which was disappointing. We had to end up playing at home on the day. The pitch got cut up really bad, so that took us away from the pitch for a couple of weeks as well because we couldn't play on it after, so that was disappointing.
Personally, I find that we have girls football here in Rosemount. We set up in September 2019, and the girls have grown and grown. We now have 4 girls team that are accommodating girls from born in 2012 up to 2007, and this is phenomenal. It's been recognised by other clubs and other people across Dunleary, Down and even across Dublin. When they come to Rosemount and Mayfield welcome, when we go to clubs, they're always saying how well we look after the girls in Rosemount. What they don't realise is we don't have access to an Astro to play these matches, so in a lot of cases it's very frustrating when we're renting a hall in a nearby college for the girls to train twice a week, and then when it comes to the weekend, particularly with the bad weather, I know we can't control the weather, but particularly with the bad weather, what happens then is our matches get called off because we don't have an Astro. We kind of hope that the team that we're down to play has their own private facility that we can go and play in their pitch, but again, these girls then are not getting matches in, and it's really frustrating. But questions need to be asked, and we need to see answers in 2020 because this can't continue, and hopefully we can do that through the local authority and through the council meeting with the football club as well.